Alright, what we're going to talk about today is separation issues, better known as separation anxiety. And the reason we call them separation issues these days is because we now realise that dogs are now in a state of stress and have gone way past anxiety. So now we call it an issue because it is a general behavioural issue. A lot of dogs are euthanized in this country because of separation issues. They become that bad. Dogs can self-mutilate, they can be destructive, they can escape. Constant barking or whining, which brings around all cancel issues and neighbouring issues. And the dogs are so far gone, they're not responding to medication or training. The most common breeds for separation issues that I see are Jack Russells, English Staffordshire Terriers, and Australian cattle dogs. And the reason we see a lot of these is because they're extremely popular. It's like anything, you see a lot of Commodores, you're going to get ones that break down and have common faults because there's so many of them. I'm not saying they're a bad dog, because they're not. I've had all these breeds and they're great dogs. Alright, so what's important when you're selecting a puppy is that first you contact a registered and experienced breeder, not someone that's been there for 5 minutes, someone who's been doing it for quite a few years. All my dogs come from registered breeders and people have been doing it for around 20 years or so. So they're very experienced people and know it, they know the bloodlines and they know what they're going to produce. So you're best to go for people like this. So when you contact your breeder, ask them about what they're breeding their dog for. If I get a breeder on the phone telling me that they're all show champions and all they're concerned about is the colour, the coat, the shape of the dog, they've got nice teeth and nice eyes. All I hear from them is that all they're concerned about is the look of the dog, not the actual temperament of the animal. Where if I get a breeder on the phone and tell me to do obedience trials, or dogs are sold to customs and things like that, they're bred for trainability, they're bred to think. Okay, and that's exactly the type of animal you want if you're looking for a pet dog. Maybe not go for the customs types dogs because they're going to be pretty full on, but you want a dog that's trainable. Okay, so a lot of clients come to me and ask me about the type of puppy and what traits they should be looking for in a puppy. And this is not a behaviour you'd want to be rewarding either, I can tell you now. I wait for him to calm down a little bit, then I will reward him. But what I look for in a litter is, normally when you walk in, you get a whole group of puppies come running up to you and they'll jump all over you and things like that, which is fine. But I don't want the puppy who is constantly scratching at me and whining at me for 10 minutes or so. I don't mind the puppy coming up to me initially at first and being excited, that's normal, but after a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I want the puppy to sort of wander off and do its own thing. But after 10 minutes, if it's still at me, this is not a puppy I'm taking home, okay? This puppy will have a higher tendency for separation issues than most other dogs would. Okay, so you want a little dog that's a little bit independent, and you'll get them more male dogs than you will in female dogs. So prevention is better than the cure. So what you want to focus on is having a routine. A puppy aged at 10, 12 weeks of age will need to be fed 3 times a day until it's around 4 to 5 months of age. Okay, so it's going to be fed in the morning, fed in the middle of the day, and fed in the evening. Okay, it doesn't have to be 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, then 6 o'clock. Be flexible with it. It can be within a 2-hour span of each other. Don't let the dog get on the minute on the dot, because they'll know pretty much when it's due about that time, and you're going to start with a lot of demanding behaviours. So on your terms, not the dog's. Regularly walk your dogs, but don't walk your dog the same time every day. All right, you'll end up with a lot of demanding behaviours and things like that, especially clients come home, as soon as they get home, they take the dog for a walk straight away. Just more to the point to get it out of the way. But what the dog learns after a couple of weeks is that as soon as the owner comes home, I go for a walk. By the time you walk inside the house, the dog's going to be bashing your door in to get inside and go for a walk. Or if the dog's already inside, it's going to be harassing you horrendously. So be flexible with that one. Make sure your puppy has regular play times and you enjoy having play times with your dog. Okay? Don't get overly excited with it. Just be play. Don't let them bite you or mouth you and things like that. Because even though young Mater, he is only young, but he's going to have a very strong bite as he gets older. So it's not something you really want to encourage. So daily training is really important. It's going to stimulate his little brain and help him learn much faster as he gets older and older and older. Don't fall into the trap. And I get many clients coming to me, my dog's 8 months, 10 months, a year old. Can I start training it? You should have been training it when you first got him. They're really receptive to training, just like little children are. And what is going to happen, he's going to open his neural pathways. Okay, and it's going to stimulate his brain and he's going to learn a lot faster. Remember, the dog's learning to learn all the time. So now you brought your puppy home and you've just separated from its brothers and sisters and its mother. Don't expect it to be fine all by itself, because it's not going to be. The first time in its life it's going to be by itself overnight in the laundry, in the backyard, or you bought a little puppy pen for it maybe. All right? There's a few little things that are going to help you to get your puppy through its first few nights. One is a hot water bottle wrapped up in a towel. or a blanket. Make sure you got a little bit of water so the puppy's not going to dehydrate overnight at all. It's going to be a little bit more comfortable. Not too much water, otherwise the puppy's going to wee everywhere. You can have a radio or an old wind-up clock. And just a bit of ambient noise in the room so it's not so silent for the puppy, because the puppy's used to having brothers and sisters and mother around it, so a little bit of noise is always good. If the puppy's been with you all day or for a couple of days, wear an old jacket or take an old jacket or something, a piece of clothing that's not going to matter to you, and put that with the puppy. It's going to help the puppy settle in much easier. And don't go to your puppy when it's whinging and crying. You're only rewarding that behaviour, so therefore be careful with that one. All right, so make sure you do a calm entry and exit. A puppy, dog, any age, doesn't really matter. So when you come home to your puppy, don't do the big fuss. Okay, don't come in, "Whoa, how you going?" Don't do it. All right, it's going to make it a lot worse for you. You're going to get a really overexcited dog. Okay, and when you exit the house, don't do the whole thing. "We home soon, be good, you know." Just walk out the house, "See you, mate," and you'll be right with that one. Okay, and what we're going to talk about is creating a neutral stimulus. Okay, and a neutral stimulus means the dog has no reaction to certain kinds of objects, okay, such as the lead. Okay, we've all seen it before with a puppy or your dog. As soon as you pick up the lead, they're jumping madly out of control because they're going for a walk, and they should be excited about going for a walk, but it affects how you feel about taking your dog for a walk too, because you can't control your dog. So what I like to do with my own dogs is I'll walk around the house with a lead in my hand. Okay, just walk around the house with a lead in your hand all the time. Pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. Do as many as often as possible until your puppy is no longer reacting to it or your dog's no longer reacting to it, and that's what we mean by a neutral stimulus. The keys is the best one. The puppy knows or your dog knows you're about to go out when you pick up your keys. Okay, it's the same thing. Pick them up, put them down, pick them up, put them down until you get no reaction from your dog anymore, and then you'll be right. So make sure, whether your dog or your puppy, that you never go to when it's crying, scratching at the back door. You might be worried about your neighbours, but it's going to last a very short amount of time the more consistent you are with it. If you start going to your back door when your puppy or your dog's crying, you're only going to make the problem worse, and you're going to annoy your neighbours a damn sight more. So what to do if you've got a separation issue? All right. It could be very severe depending on the age of the dog, how long the problem's been there, the temperament of the animal, things like that. So very varying factors. Make sure you never go to your puppy when it's crying or your dog when it's crying. So if you do have a separation issue with your dog, okay, seek yourself out a qualified dog trainer. Your dog may need to be medicated depending on the severity of the issue that you do have. Okay, but it is a serious issue that you have. If your dog has got a separation problem, remember it can be extremely stressful for a dog, extremely stressful to the point where they think their life's going to end. That's how bad it can get for a dog. So a little bit of compassion, a little bit of understanding from your part, and your dog will be better off for it. Alright, so some good tips for you to use with your own dog. Remember, if you stick to them, follow the guidelines, you won't have these issues. If you do have a problem already, and the problem is quite severe, you may need to look at some medication for your dog, which means you'll have to contact your local vet after getting some advice from your local dog trainer or behaviourist. But remember, without these problems, your life's going to be easier, your neighbours are definitely going to be happier. Your little mate here, he's going to be absolutely ecstatic that he hasn't had to have a stressful life at all. Where are you, buddy?